Good day everyone, I am Roperos. So today, I will discuss about lesson planning. So, as education students, lesson plans is not new to us. We might already hear or seen our previous teacher about this matter. So what is it about and why is it important for a teacher to have a lesson planning or to have a lesson plan? And what are the guidelines in making a lesson plan? So that's we are going to discuss today. So lesson planning is the activity wherein a teacher make a plan before the actual lesson takes place. So in making a lesson plan, it is what the student must learn about the topic. It also serves as teacher's daily guide to instructions and learning different ideas and topics of discussion and activities that is laid out for a teacher to view whenever they need. And as we all know that lesson planning is already a large part of teaching community, wherein educator can share ideas, find great activities, and mentor each other to advance the learning for the students. As future educator, we must realize the importance of lesson planning. Many educators believe that lesson planning is unnecessary. However, it is the first step towards the student's achievement. Lesson planning also means being prepared. We all know preparation is the key to success. There's a popular military saying that if you fail to prepare, you should also prepare to fail. Second is lesson planning is also a path for success, where educators can lay out a plan for students to learn. It starts a lesson to point A to get the point B. Third is ability to create. Lesson planning allows teachers to create different strategies. Lesson plan is the art and the teacher is the artist. It allows teachers to create a lesson structures, for example. Begin with anticipatory set, a short lecture, and followed by exam or activities. And at the end, the teacher could also reflect the lesson plan on what was being achieved. And the teacher could also reflect if the lesson plan is effective or needs to be modified. Here are the guidelines and lesson planning for educators to consider. So first, a teacher must be proactive in planning. A teacher must be proactive in planning. Plan more than just a week in advance. The teacher should also reflect with the test scores, data, and upcoming tests, and etc. So second is prioritize standards. The teacher should carefully select a subset of the total list of the grade-specific and course-specific standards within each content area that the student must know and be able to do at the end of each school year, in order to be prepared for the standards at the end of the grade level or course. Third is teacher also needs to be remain flexible. If this just something is planned, it doesn't mean that it will going to happen. And lastly, set time to plan. Don't wait the last minute. Rushing lesson plans would lead to poor plans and poor lessons. So in making the lesson plans, you must remember the GADE or the GADE or the GADE. So G stands for goal. It is about what do you want your students to learn at the end of the lesson. Second is action. How you are going to break down each topics to help students to reach your goal. Third is demonstrate learning. It is about how will you and your students know if they achieve the goal. And lastly, the environment, on what you do physically to do or to facilitate the learning of your students. So in lesson planning, we have different components. The first is the title. The lesson plan should begin with the lesson plan title, the course subject, grade level, and your name as a teacher. The second is the date. It is the most common mistake of some of the teacher, using the old lesson plans and forgetting to change the date. If the teacher is caught using older dates, it indicates that they are not planning their lessons. Third is objectives. Each lesson should have a learning goal that is characterized as SMART. It should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Next is plan. Each lesson should have a beginning, middle, and ending. Write the sequence of the events and events in your lessons. The teacher could have fun activities such as classic games or even hands-on activities. The next is assessment. Each objective with its aligned standard must be assessed for the student's comprehension and understanding. So in your assessment, you can have a diagnostic or a summative test that is aligned to your learning objective. The next is homework. This component is somewhat unnecessary. So if you want to add on in this component, you must add some specific pages and problems for your homework assignment, cross-curriculum. So in lesson planning, you must also consider and show to your students the connection between the individual subject areas. And lastly, differentiation. It includes differentiation of instructions, thought, content, process, and for students with disability. The teacher should also try to instill career-ready practices to prepare students later in life. So let's now proceed to implementation. Implementation is putting your plans into action. So plan without action is useless. So we have different guidelines to follow in implementing a lesson plan. So implementing a lesson plan, you must also consider the difference of your learner, such as their age, background, and abilities. For instance, in a classroom setting, there are different students. There are fast learners and slow learner. And as a teacher, you should consider those things, such as modifying your learning instruction. Second is length of a period. As a teacher, we must realize that the time in each class is limited. So we must coincide our lessons activities to the given time allotted. The third is flexibility. The teacher must be willing to develop a lesson plan in a way that is different in the actual plan. As plan A will not work, there's still a plan B. Fourth is learner participation. Teachers should motivate as many students as possible to participate in each lesson. For instance, letting students to seek for help and ask for clarifications. As much as we can, we must not build any hesitant and any barrier to our students. Instead, helping them build their confidence. Fifth is learner comprehension. As teacher, we must ask our students every after the lessons to know what they understand or not, because there's a frequently discrepancy between what students understand and what the teacher believes that they understand. So, and lastly, evaluation. So the teacher must also gauge the lesson plan. It must be assessed in order to improve and updated. So that ends our discussion. So I will end this video with a quotation from Dr. Stephen R. Covey. Always begin with the end in mind. Always think about how you would like something to turn out before you get started. Remember that success is having a clear vision towards your desired direction. So thank you for listening till our next discussion. Bye.